Hi students, hope all of you are keeping fine. So once again, let me welcome you to this online class. Hope you are enjoying these classes at home. I hope you are listening all these classes. Be attentive, listen to the classes carefully so that you may better understand. So we don't know how the school is going to be reopened. So till then we may have to continue with these online classes, and you have to pay extreme care. You take pain in going through this one. We are trying our level best to make you learn it easily. So I expect that you cooperate with us and pay attention to this. Okay. In the previous class we have seen the flashback is already started. The exposition of the drama has started there. A conversation between Miranda and Prospero. Prospero is trying to explain to Miranda the story of those people, actually who they are, what made them to reach onto this island. So that is what we have just seen. So in the narration, Prospero says it's already time that you have to know more about who you are, from where you are, who your father is, what is the social status of this person. Something which you have never asked, probably I have never told you. So it is time now you come to know more about who you are, or rather who we are. And he started off narrating and started with a question: can you recall anything of the past? Can you recall anything about your life before reaching onto this island? And she surprised him by saying that, yes sir, I can remember. At least there is some small memory that is passing through my mind that I was attended by. Or there were some women, more or less, let's say 4 or 5 women, those who were attending on me. There were some women to take care of me. And that's the only remembrance. And he asked, if you can remember such kind of things, I expect that you may recall also how we happened to reach on this island, or how we reached this. And she says, sir, I don't know anything about that one, but the only thing that I remember is there were few ladies who were looking after me when I was very small. And let's now continue with that. But that I do not know what the journey or how we happen to reach onto this island. That part I have no idea about. I don't remember anything about that one. 12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since. And he started off with 12 years before. 12 years ago, Miranda, this incident took place. It is not just few years ago. 12 years ago that has happened. An incident that has happened. That is what we are going to narrate here. 12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since. Thy father was the Duke of Milan and a prince of power. So 12 years ago, when I recall, your father was the Duke of Milan. In the introduction part I said, Milan was the most powerful dukedom at that time. The most powerful kingdom, and thy father, your father was the Duke of Milan. The most powerful kingdom of that area, that time, your father was he. He was a prince of power. No one could question him. No one could capture that dukedom. So much was the power. Probably envied by all the neighboring dukedoms, all the small dukedoms which were existing there. Probably they were all enemy at this dukedom, because such was the power of Milan. And in fact we can say that the neighboring kingdom, Naples, the king of Naples always tried to capture this one, but they have never managed. So that enmity might have been there, existing in the heart of those people there. Probably they were not able to attack them directly because they knew the strength of Milan. So, your father was a prince of power, a duke with so much power that no one could challenge him. So, thy father was the Duke of Milan, and a prince of power was the powerful Duke of Milan. So, again, as I said in the previous class, you see the line, the way in which he has addressed that one. Thy father was the Duke of Milan. Your father was the Duke of Milan. So naturally, as I said, who is the father of Miranda? Your father was the Duke of. Then, if it is in a normal conversation between us, we may have to say, your father was, or I was the Duke of Milan. That is generally supposed to be, but he says, the Duke of Milan was like that. Your father was the Duke of Milan. So naturally that led to the question, sir, are you not my father? Probably a very strange question or out of place question is asked. Here it does not become out of place because we know what it is. So now she is worried. Are you not my father? You are addressing, your father was the Duke of Milan. Am I not your daughter? And very strange answer he gives. No straightforward answer. It seems that it's a problem with Prospero that he never gave the straightforward answer. He could have said, my dearest daughter, I have no doubt, you are my dearest daughter. But he doesn't say that one. What does he say? Thy mother was a piece of virtue. Your mother was a piece of virtue. And she said, thou was my daughter. So what he said? Your mother says, you are my daughter. I have no doubt. I have no reason to doubt your mother. Because she was a piece of virtue. What do you mean by a piece of virtue? Your mother was a woman of chastity, a chaste woman, a faithful person, a person whom we can trust. Now, chaste, pure, no unfaithful relationship. That is exactly what he means by that one, a faithful person. Maybe recalling some movies or maybe the name Beba. That was not the case. She was a faithful person. Fidelity, that is something what we need to give. Fidelity, faithful to somebody. So thy mother was a piece of virtue. Your mother was a woman of chastity, and I have no reason to doubt her assurance. So her assurance, what was her assurance? She told me that you are my daughter. When a mother says, this person is your daughter, have no doubt. We have no reason to doubt that one. That is exactly what he says. No reason to doubt her assurance that you were my daughter. Your father was Duke of Milan, and you, his only heir. So your father was the Duke of Milan. And I have no doubt that you are my daughter. No doubt, you are my daughter. So you are the only heir of Milan. So after me, you were supposed to be the Duchess of Milan. Duke and Duchess. So that a word that you may have to keep in mind. So probably I used to say there is a poem also. There is my last Duchess. Duke and Duchess. A Duke is speaking about his last Duchess. Probably that word implication, even like this one, as he said, your mother was a piece of virtue, and he says, my last Duchess, that implies that opposite of what he said here. So many Duchess he had, and the last one. A beautiful poem actually, a monologue. A dramatic monologue, probably you studied or you are going to study. Okay. So she said, thou was my daughter, and thy father was the Duke of Milan. So your father was the Duke of Milan. and his only heir and princess, no was issued. And you are purely royal blood. So you are a pure royal blood. You were born as a princess and not of any lower birth. So you are born princess. Your social status is no less than a princess. But unfortunately, at present, you are on this island not knowing even your own past, your own social status, just living like an uncivilized person on that island, not knowing anything about the world outside. So and princess, no less than a descent than that of a royal blood. So such a royal person you are. But unfortunately, something has happened there. What is that left to this man? Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we? So if that is the case, what foul play has happened there? What mischief has happened there? What has gone wrong? So what is that thing that led us to this island? Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? So how did we go away from here or go away from that island and come away to this such a lonely island here? What is that led us to this place? Or was it a blessed worst we did? Or blessed worst we did? Or was it a blessed thing for us to do? Was it a foul play? Was it a treachery done by somebody that we happen to be here? Or was it a blessed thing that we happen to come here? Maybe she is recalling to or referring to something. Maybe was it because of some religious system or practice that you have to live away that one and you come to this island? Was it because of the divine providence that we happen to reach on this island? Or was it somebody played treacherous plan on you? Somebody deceived you that they have taken away your kingdom and we have been sent away, banished from the dukedom. So what was that led us to this island? For was it a blessed thing for us to do, or were we sent away from that island? So she is asking a question. So as we said, probably her doubt is correct. She might have been asking. Her first thought is that her father must have been driven out by treachery. The logical reasoning she has given. So most probably her father might have been treacherously sent away from that kingdom or dukedom. That is what he said. What foul play had we? Was it a foul play done by somebody that we have been driven out of our dukedom? So she asked her question. Her first thought is that her father must have been driven out of his dukedom by treachery. Her second thought that he may have done it of his own free will because of some religious motive. Probably that we can see that people living the comfortable life and moving out of their own palatial life to a life of destitute. Even maybe the story of Gautam Buddha, we may have to say that a princely life and they're living it out and just a life of wandering. So probably he might have done something of that sort. She is assuming. Or the first one, he might have been driven out of his dukedom by a treacherous plan. So we may have to say, or we are forced to believe the first one. So somebody has played a trick on him. So let us see. Instead of assuming, let us go to the story. Both, my girl, both are there. It is not one thing, but we may have to assume these two things have taken place. Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence. it is by a foul play that we have been heaved out of that place. We have been driven out of that place, heaved out, removed from there, deprived from that one, carried away from there. We have been just ousted from that place. It is by a foul play. By a foul play means treachery. Treachery means doing something maliciously, cheating. So both my girl, by foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence. We were expelled from there by some treacherous plan. But blessedly, halt hither. Halt hither. Halt is a word, probably it is given there. If not, it is an old English word. Old word used for help, to help. So, but blessedly helped hither. It was God's blessing that helped us to come here. It was a divine providence. I have to say that, I have to acknowledge that it was just merely because of the divine providence that we are here. It was merely because of God's divine providence that today we are here. But God's blessing helped us to come here. Oh, my heart bleeds. Oh, my heart bleeds to think of the team that I have turned you to. So what is that? My heart bleeds to think of the team that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you further. So what do you mean by that one? Of my heart bleeds to think of the troubles to which I have put you. So now to recall you, the troubles that I have given you, my heart bleeds, my heart pains to think. It is with such sorrow in my mind. Of course, it is not a sorrowful thing, that one. A small baby, how much trouble a baby can cause you, we can understand. Of course, it may not be a trouble, but when it is such a small baby and only father is there to take care, it's a very difficult thing. It's a very difficult time for the father, because he has to take care of this small baby of less than 3 years, and he has to control the boat on which he is there. No one else is there. No guarantee where you are going to land up. You are in the middle of the sea with a small child. So naturally, at that time, he might have had such a troubled time. The cries of that baby, the torrential rain, the violent waves that are rising high up in the sea. So all these things might have been the trouble that I have given you. To think of the teens, here it is again probably an old English word which is being used here. Sufferings. I think it is even now used in Scotland, Scottish areas and all those things. This word is still used. So to think of the teen that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. So something in my memory that is recollection that is there. Probably the troubles that I have given you. So that is with sorrow I may have to remember. But that is still a forgotten thing. I can't recall any of those things. But that let it be there. You go ahead with the story. So I request you, speak further. Please, you further. So, which is from my remembrance means, which is quite gone from my memory. The sufferings that I have given you, I don't remember what were the different type of troubles that I have given you. That I don't remember. But I am sure that I have given you so much trouble. That's all a forgotten thing. That I cannot recall anything. But now I expect you to further go ahead. Go further with the narration of the story. What exactly has happened. I request you to continue with the story narration. And he enters into the story. My brother. Prospero says, my brother. My brother means your uncle. My brother and thy uncle called Antonio. That name, character is coming here. Antonio. Antonio, who is he? My brother and thy uncle called Antonio. I pray thee, mark me. Mark me. Not take a pen and mark on me. No, not at all. What is that? I pray thee, mark me. Listen to my words carefully. Pay attention very seriously. He is going to say the very crux of the story. He says, the most important thing I am going to say, most heart-touching thing I am going to say. Probably my heart bleeds to say that this happened to me. When it is from an enemy, okay, I can believe it. I am going to tell you the story of my own brother. My brother and thy uncle called Antonio. I pray thee, mark me, that a brother should be so perfidious. Now, how can I say a brother be so perfidious? Perfidious meaning is given there. Treacherous. How can a brother be such a treacherous person? If he is such a treacherous person, we can't call him a brother. He may be there by blood relationship, but in the heart, he is not a brother. A brother is someone who helps you out in times of difficulty. But here is a person who takes the maximum opportunity of the time and he cheats you, deprive you of everything. He is controlled by greediness. That a brother should be so perfidious. He whom next thyself of all the world I loved, and to him put the manage of my state, as at that time, as you say that one. So, of whom next thyself. So if I say something about something that I loved on this world, the first and foremost thing that I loved on this world, that was you. The first thing. The next to that one, the second person. First person is you. The second person whom I have loved, that was my brother, your uncle Antonio. So much was my love for that person. So much was my confidence in that person. I fully trusted him. But what was the result? So of all the world I loved, and to him put the manage of my state. To him put the manage of my state. Entrust to him the management of my estate. To that person I entrusted all the political affairs of my state. The political administration of my state I entrusted to him, because I had so much confidence in my brother, that he would never cheat me, that he would never treacherously take away the kingdom from me. I had least expectation from him. Therefore, I entrusted everything. I may say, this is my personal statement, what I say. He should not have done. He should have taken care of his own duty. One's own duty has to be performed by that person. You should not entrust your duty to somebody else. Probably he created that greediness in him by entrusting all the duties of the state. That's personal remark. So he whom next to thyself, the one I love next to you in the entire world. So I entrusted, Milan was the first of all state. I entrusted that one into his hands. He whom next thyself of all the world I love, and put to him, and to him put the manage of my state. As at that time, through all the signories means principalities, signories. So the word, you have to pay attention, signories. Principalities, that is divisions. So dukedom. So it was foremost of all the principalities. In all the signories, Milan was the most powerful one, the most prestigious dukedom, principalities. It was Milan. Through all the signories, it was the first. And Prospero, the prime duke, and the most powerful dukedom, and the duke of that dukedom should be considered as the most powerful duke of that area. In all the signories or in all the principalities over there, Milan and surrounding areas, Milan was the most powerful, and the most powerful duke of all the area should be the duke of that area. So Prospero was the most powerful duke of that area. And Prospero, the prime duke, he was considered as the prime duke, duke of all the dukes. That we may have to say. King of kings. So Prospero was the king of kings, duke of all the dukes nearby areas, because his dukedom was the most powerful one. The primary dukedom was that of dukedom of Milan. So, and Prospero, the prime duke, being so reputed in dignity and for the liberal arts. So, what is for the liberal arts? It had the reputation for dignitary and for the liberal arts. Liberal arts meaning is given there. The subjects that were considered essential to know, that is grammar, logic and rhetoric. Grammar, logic. So, grammar and logic and rhetorics were some of the things which you should know very clearly. Prime duke also meaning is given. Some of the word meanings are given there which you may have to pay attention to. You may have to read through. So, and Prospero, the prime duke, being so reputed in dignity and for the liberal arts, had a reputation for the dignity and for the liberal arts. So, dukedom was known for that one. Liberal arts. Educated. Intellectually at high level. And Prospero being such a person, and he was also so much interested in his liberal arts. A person, we may have to say, a bookworm. Always in the book. Just reading. So in dignity and for the liberal arts, without a parallel. So without a parallel that was. The dukedom was such that you cannot compare any other dukedom with that of Milan. There is nothing equal to that. It was the best dukedom. It was the most powerful dukedom. It was the most intelligent people they are living there. So education level, it was the highest. All you may have to use in the superlative degrees. So liberal arts without a parallel. Those being all my study, the government I cast upon my brother. So, and these things were so much, I was interested in so much in liberal arts and my studies. My library turned to me as the entire world. For me, my library was everything for me. My books were everything for me. Therefore, the administration, that part of administration I entrusted to my brother. I entrusted to him all the duties that concerned about administration. I had no time to interfere in the business. So those being all my studies, the government I cast upon my brother. The government, the administration, I entrusted to my brother. Which brother? Antonio. So probably I may call that was one of the serious mistakes that probably Prospero made. That he entrusted all the administrative activities into the hands of Antonio. The government I cast upon my brother, and to my stage grew stranger. So what happened? And to my stage grew stranger. I became a stranger to my state. I became a stranger to my country. Meaning to say that most of the things what is happening in my country, I became unaware of those things. I became unaware of what is happening. Maybe that we may become what is called a stranger to some of the happening that is in and around us. If we don't read newspapers and all those kind of things, if we don't get information, then we became strange. We don't know what is happening there. We are almost like a stranger. We don't know what is happening there. So that is exactly what has happened to Prospero. Because of this action of entrusting all the activities of his dukedom to his brother, unfortunately, he became totally unaware of what is happening there. So he became a stranger. He neglected his entire activities. And to my state grew stranger. I neglected all the activities, all the administrative activities, being transported and wrapped in the secret studies. So what was the reason for that one? I was carried away, transported, carried away by my studies and wrapped in secret studies. I was wholly absorbed. I was totally engrossed in the studies. I was totally wrapped in the studies. My life was my studies. My duties was my studies. My most important place was my library. My close companions were my books, magical books, literature, grammar, logics. All these things were, that is what mattered to me. My administration became a forgotten business. Everything I entrusted to my brother. Thy uncle, dost thou attend me? Are you listening? To your question, are you listening to what Prospero is telling? So probably what Prospero has been telling to his daughter, are you listening? If not, if you are not listening, I am going to stop it. So that is what he said. So thy uncle, thy false uncle, your treacherous uncle, your uncle who was totally carried away by greed for power. He was probably a money-minded person. Opportunist, a person who would look after all the opportunities that is coming on there. Consciousness is a word that is not in their dictionary. Honesty and sincerity, that is not in their collection. So, such a person, do you attend me? Are you listening? Are you paying attention? So he said, so he was such a way that he was so much engrossed in his studies, wrapped up on occult studies, magical studies. That was his main thing. He was so much interested in magical books. He was studying about that one. Therefore, he neglected all his studies, and naturally the result was that he became a stranger to his own state. So he became a stranger to his own state. That is the most important thing. So thy false uncle, the word, meaning of that word, the false uncle, treacherous uncle, an uncle, a blood relation, brother, my brother. But he became such a treacherous person, a person I feel sorry to say that he was my brother or he is my brother. That was condition. So that much, I hope that much is clear. So it is very important thing. He is describing the event that led. So he described first, it says about his brother Antonio, how he has entrusted, how Prospero has entrusted all his administrative power into the hands of Antonio, his brother. And what was the reason for entrusting him the administrative work? Because he wanted to spend time in his studies. He has to spend more time in his library. He has excluded himself from the administrative activities, and that activities, having such confidence in that person, Prospero entrusted all the activities of administration into the hands. He retired himself into his studies. Now what happened? Being once perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance and who to trash for overtapping, New created the creatures that were mine. I say, or changed them. Now, what does he say? Now Prospero is telling what exactly happened there. Now, when I became a stranger to this administration, stranger to my own state, the entire thing is in the hands of my brother. Now, he has got the power, he has got his men. When you have got the political power, you can turn and twist according to your wish. When you became the most powerful person, you are the persons whom you are appointing the subordinates. Naturally, we can see that. We appoint only the person who will remain just faithful to you. There is no place for honesty in that one. There is no equality. For example, we can see the political position what we are seeing. Very often as the political power changes from one political party to another political party, we see transfer of different persons as well. Bureaucrats, most of them get changed. Administration, total change is happening there. Most of the IAS, IPS and all those things, they get transferred, they change, new persons come because they need faithful people. Who will stand according to them, who will follow their own instruction, only those people will be appointed as subordinates. That is exactly what this Prospero. So these things are not new things. Political favorites, or what we call as the chamchas, who follows blindly the advices of the person who is right above them. That started a long time back. So now it is said, having learned how to grant applications are coming. Now he has learned who are the persons to be promoted, who are the persons to be demoted, who are the persons to be removed from the post. All those things he has learned. How to refuse them, whom to promote and whom to check for. So that is exactly what he has learned. So there are persons, we know that this kind of person, if they grow into power, they become a hindrance to us. So cut him from that one. Don't allow him to fly higher. Cut the wings of those birds. They will not fly higher. So that is exactly what he has already perfected what he has to do. What is his duty? So being once perfected, how to grant suit, how to promote people, to whom to give promotion, to whom to remove from the post, once he has learned all those things. Or what did he do? All the persons, those who are faithful, he removed those people. He removed the persons who served me, or he converted them. Many different ways we see. Probably, frankly speaking, if you follow my instruction correctly, remain faithful to me, you will remain in power. If not, you are just kicked out of. You need power or follow the old person, finish for you. So it was that one. How to deny them, who to advance and who to trash. For overtapping, now created the creatures that were mine. So new created the creatures that were mine. He transformed the persons, those who are mine. My people were very faithful to me. But he has transformed them and made them as his own favorites. I say, changed them. He totally, completely transformed those people as his own people, or else new formed them. So new formed them. He remolded them. He reformed those people. So he knew that one. Who are the people to whom gave more power, to whom he should not give more power. So that is what here the word what is called to trash for overtapping. Overtapping means harboring excessive ambition. If you give excessive powers, there are people, if they get more power, that will become a hindrance for us. And therefore, he decided that those people should be checked correctly. That is, trash, rein in the horses, that chain that we call rein. Control them, those people. Unless I control those people, it is going to be danger for me. So he controlled those people, especially those people who were faithful to Prospero. Reformed them and they became the chamchas of Antonio. That is exactly what has happened. So the moment he got the key, the power and the office, so then he became the absolute person. So, or else new formed them, having both the key of officer and office. He has got the key of the officer and office. The key of office, the post and the power to administer. Now he has got the office, he has got the power. Now everything is in his power. Nobody can question. I can appoint people, I can remove people. So everything, I have got the office. He has got the wish. Maybe if I wish to change some people, I don't have the power to do anything. If our Prime Minister wishes to change somebody from the post, he can do it because he has got the office, he has got the power. That is exactly what has happened. So Antonio got the power and he has got the office to do what he wished to do. The post and the power to administer. So, or else new formed them, having both the key of officer and office, set all hearts in the state to what tune pleased his ear, that now he was the ivy which had hid my princely trunk, and sucked my warder out on it. So now what has happened? So he tuned all the ears in the state, what tune pleased to his ear. So he kept only those people who actually became his followers. Only those people. Maybe some of the countries we can take it. Only those people, maybe even in China we can say, only the president what he says, only his followers are taken into consideration. No political freedom is given. So, anyone who opposes the power, they are removed from there. He wished to have only those people whose tune pleased his ears. Meaning to say that only his favorites could survive. Anyone who opposed him, he removed them from the post. By hook or crook. He doesn't care about what is reality, what is the fact. But what he wants is that he needs to have only those persons who typically followed his instruction. Anybody who opposed him, anyone who challenged him, they had no role in that place. Almost like an ivy plant, a tree on which a creeper is taking place, growing up, and slowly what happens is that the trunk on which this creeper has climbed, that destroys, that suck away all the nutrients from that one. And final thing what happened is that the tree on which the creeper has come up, the tree will get destroyed and the creeper survives. That is exactly what has happened. The ivy which had hit my princely trunk and sucked the warder out on it, cheered me, the covered my trunk, my princely kingdom, my dukedom, on which this creeper, my brother, has sucked in and sucked away everything and removed all that was there existing on me. So I repeat once again the last portion what I said. Being once perfected, to whom to give promotion, to whom to demote from there. So having by this time learned how to grant petitions and how to refuse them, whom to promote or whom to reduce the power, whose power has to be reduced because of becoming too prominent. He doesn't allow anybody to become prominent there. Anyone who becomes prominent, he feels that they will become more powerful. He removed those people. So he removed them because of becoming too prominent. gave new appointments to those whom I had created. So instead of those people whom I had promoted or I had given appointment, he removed those people. He created, replaced them, or else made fresh appointments. So recreated, made those people as his followers, or he removed those people from there and appointed new persons. So he made fresh appointments. Having both the key and the power, office, let's say, having gained the key of office and control of all appointments. So he has got the power, he has got the key of office and control of all appointment, controlled all men in the state. So he controlled all the people in the state till they were totally under his control. All typically followed all the instructions given by this person. So any instruction that was given by him, that is blindly followed. Till that extent he has controlled his people. Key of office, that is the official power, and then continues the metaphor by thinking of the keys of a harp or similar stringed instrument by means of which the musician tightens or loosens the strings till he is pleased with the sound they make. That is what the tuning, what we said. Till the ears, the tune that pleased his ears. A musician tuning the musical instruments. We see, if we take the examples of guitarists and all those things, before they start music, however well they have tuned and kept, they just go on singing, then twisting that one, just adjusting the keys once again. That is what exactly what we say. So it was in such a way that he used this power, or what is called the metaphor, by thinking example of keys of a harp or similar stringed instrument. Harp or similar instruments, that is what I said, guitar, by means of which the musician tightens or loosens the strings till he is pleased with the sounds they make. So now musical instruments tuned by the musician, but the people tuned by the officer. The commander tunes those people. They make the people in such a way, his subordinate in such a way that there is no change, no question, blind following. Typically, whatever words he says, those people who can follow him without any question, only those people are going to survive there. That is what he said. He tuned those people to the tune which pleased his ears, nothing else. Now that I was the ivy tree, so that now he obscured me, just as the climbing ivy obscures a royal oak tree. On a tree, the ivy plant is growing up, but slowly as it grows, the oak tree is hidden there. Nobody will see the tree there. Only the ivy plant is there. That was the condition that has actually happened to me. My existence was not there. Nobody could see me. Though I was the royal oak tree on which my brother Antonio was there, but I was nowhere in the scene. So that tree sucked all its vital juice. It is believed that a tree which is overgrown with the climbing plant, ivy, has its sap sucked out of, and slowly that tree dies. And that is exactly what has happened. The oak tree as Prospero, the ivy plant Antonio. Antonio climbed on that oak tree, and slowly what happened was that the main tree was totally hidden, and slowly all the vital juice from him that was been sucked by Antonio, and the main tree has just died off. I hope it is clear. So, have a nice day. Go through the portions and let's learn it clearly. Stay home, stay safe.